pulled this bike down. It's like a 1950 or certainly from the 50s Columbia straight bar. I got this when I was in North Carolina at least 6 years ago. It had like blue house paint on it or something, which I got most of it off. I clear coated it. I pulled this out of the ground at Chad's house. It wasn't supposed to be a seat post, but he turned it into one anyhow. And I had this in a couple different setups. Rode it around for a bit. And I'm meaning to build it. But I took it down for the rear wheel for a moment because I picked this up at Chad's yesterday. And this is the Latour, okay, lugged frame, but it's chromoly. It's chromoly, so it's a lighter, stronger frame than your standard Schwinn varsities. And what's neat about it, it takes a larger seat post, like a more standard seat post. It's, you know, the derailleur is actually a pretty decent one. Even though it's for the road, I'll try running that. And it's got an aluminum European bottom bracket. So I can run all of this. Pull a little guard off. The front derailleur needs to be cleaned up, but that's cool. I think what I might do is try to tape out the Schwinn Latour on the down tube. Try to tape that out, and maybe the old LA sticker here. That was supposed to expire in 1978. And then sand the frame and paint it black and then peel the stickers and have them so you can still see that. That might be kind of cool. I think I can run this old fork here that has these vintage Diacomp brakes on there. This brake is super strong and might actually reach a 26-inch wheel. So, and I got to get to work. But the problem with these frames is getting a fatter tire in. And actually, I forgot about that up here. So I'm going to have to double check, but I've spread these before. But we got this nifty tool. It's in my bag here. It's in here somewhere. There it is. So Chad made this. And this is a dimpler. So we put this on the inside of the chainstays, and I dimple the frame to fit the tire. So I just wanted to really quickly put this frame in the vise on the bench, mount this tire, or whole wheel if I can, at least mark the frame where it needs to be, and then quickly see if I can dimple those. Just realized there's a light on. There we go. See if I can dimple those, the chainstays, to get the wheel to fit. Just real fast, and then I'm going to put it away, and I'll get to it another time. But that'll be a chromoly Schwinn Latour Klunker when it's done, and it's going to be cool. You guys can see that, I think. So the idea here is that you get this on here, get this in here, start threading the bolts, and then you have to use a Allen head or an Allen wrench, and you tighten down the threads. Of course, it'd be easier if the derailleur and the crankset wasn't on here, which is all loose. It'll pop right off. Alright. I've done this before on a frame. Put a couple of pencil marks on the frame where this needs to happen. And this is one of those things. I'm just going to try to do this. I should be doing the other side. It's harder to get the wrench in on this side here. But I'll give it a shot for you real quick. think, get the purchase on this Allen wrench. I'm going to use a crescent wrench. Not my best crescent wrench. This one's a little gummed up. Let me get a better one. Alright. So I'll do this. I'll do the other side. I'll try to make them appear to be relatively even. And then we'll try to fit the wheel. It won't fit right now, that is for sure. One of those tedious kind of things. It's actually not that bad. You understand the principles at work here. And knowing that, you just go at the pace that you need to go. I can see it bending the metal right now. And so, you know, the outside, this piece of aluminum, it's obviously got a radius cut through it. And we've got some leather in there. In an effort to hopefully not mar the paint too much on the frame. Not that it matters on this bike, or really any clunker. I mean, who gives a crap, right? When you see people taking these bikes to that nth degree of putting perfect paint on them and everything, I mean, that's cool, but you know, I mean, if you actually use the bike for what it's being built for, you're going to beat that thing up. It's like your overlanding vehicle, right? You can put all the nice paint you want on it, but you're going to get some pinstripes, man. I get these two to even up a little bit. The bottom one is in further than this top one. A lot of resistance here. I don't want to snap a bolt, which could happen. It's feeling like I'm at that point right now. I'll go nice and easy. That's probably pretty good. All right. Let me show you how the sound is here. I got the mic on, so. That leather's blocking your view a little. You should be able to see up in here that I've forced that metal over. Now I got to do the same thing on the other side. Release that and then set up the other side. Now I might have to elongate this. I'm suspecting I will, like probably pull it back further here. But let's do the other side and see if I can get them to kind of match up and see what happens. All right, keep in mind this is not my tool. I have to give it back to Chad. It's funny, I'll ask him, hey man, can you make me one of these? I get that glazed over look from him. He is not gonna make you one of these tools, all right? Just so you know. I mean, maybe if you offered him an exorbitant amount of money, I've got to return this to him, obviously. Not that this is something that he uses on a regular basis. This is something that, when I was building a whole bunch of these clunkers up, and we used to talk about it, he made this thing. So he made this not long ago. I mean, this might only be 3 or 4 years old. This is the hard part. Like, I'm not even sure if I have the perfect alignment fore and aft, right, from the bottom bracket to match where the other one is. I eyeballed it pretty close. I should have measured the exposed threads to get that exactly the same. So I fouled up there already, really. But, you know, keep messing with it. I'm going to go by feel, because right now this is still pretty easy to turn. I got to the point on these, on the other one where, you know, I felt like I was about to snap the bolts. So when I get to that same feeling on this side, I'll eyeball things and make a determination. It should be pretty darn close. And I am starting to feel that now. You getting bored yet? Bottom one's still a lot easier. And it's a visual aesthetic that, you know, the reason why you want to try to make it close. Really all that matters is the function. Is it going to clear? Is it going to work? Good. If you got it to where it looks good, that's a bonus, but it doesn't matter that much. This is old school Klunker tech right here. I'm going to call that good. Back this out now. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. Backing these out's a lot easier. Once you loosen it, you can spin it out by hand here. I suspect I didn't get it enough. I suspect I'm going to have to elongate these. I don't like that it's just going into a threaded aluminum block. Obviously this would be better if it was steel because I wouldn't worry about pulling the threads out. Chad doesn't worry about that at all. He thinks it's fine. I don't think I got it in enough from what I can see. I don't think they match. I don't think they match, but I think, like I said, let's give it a shot. Let's see if the tire can fit in here. Let's keep you right here. Back out a bit. Let's just see. And then I really have to get to work here. Yeah. Definitely has to go more for this tire anyhow. So I'll work with that. Mainly, it's not too bad. I'm going to elongate this in both directions, and I'm going to make this pretty narrow here. I'm going to really pinch this well. And then I'll eventually get that to work. But the video is mainly just to show you guys this tool because I thought you'd get a kick out of it. You know, this is the sort of thing that you have to make. I don't know that anybody that you can buy something like this anywhere off the shelf, right? So that's it for now. Stay tuned. This will be a cool build. I think it's going to have like a bit of a historical significance to those of you, the older fellas, right, that were building clunkers back in the day. Again, before you could just go out and buy a mountain bike, you had to build it yourself. And this is the sort of thing that we all did. I remember being a little kid in the late 70s, being in a bike shop and listening to the big kids talk about the varsity frames because they were building these bikes at the time. This is on the East Coast. We didn't call them clunkers. But they were talking about getting a fatter tire on those varsity frames that they were building up with gears so they can climb mountains. And they were just hammering stuff and just 2x4s and hammering it in and bending the frames and all that stuff. So this is a little bit better. A little bit more, slightly more tech there. You know, Caveman to Neanderthal. I think that's where we're at. So Neanderthal tech here. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.